because I had spent 12 years with parents who were interested in fostering an appreciation of art separate from religion. Yeah. And that is so important. Mm-hmm. I cannot pressure that enough if you are a parent. The art and religion can mix, but that place where the Venn diagram crosses over cannot be the only place it exists in.
Yeah. With art, let's just talk about music. I was only allowed to listen to Christian music because it was worshiping God. The art of music was designed and created by God, and therefore can only be used to worship or glorify God. And if there is a beautiful piece of music that's instrumental, or a beautiful piece of music that's got a really nice positive message, but it's not by a quote Christian artist, my question would be, well, then what about this beautiful piece of music?
Well, they're honoring God without even knowing it.
They're using the art form God created. And so then non-Christian artists that were taking it into a negative direction,
which is literally any other direction.
Yeah.
By the way.
That's where the reclaiming of the arts came from.
Yeah.
Because art was created by God,
for God.
That's it. And so any piece of art, whether it was visual art, moving art, film, music, photography, whatever, couldn't be appreciated or a lot of times looked at without it being for God. So we did not go to museums.
That's the only place we went.
And we did not go to, because history museums were out. Because they were all over 6,000 years old. But then I never went to an art museum.
Oh, yeah.
Up. Because what if there was a naked body statue?
Those were the things that made me afraid to make friends in church. Was because we did. Mm-hmm. Like, a road trip vacation would be a brown sign vacation. Like, we'd drive down the road and every brown sign we saw, we'd be pulling off. One historical site after the next. One art museum after the next. And my dad being an artist, we'd go into an art museum and stand there as long as it took us to appreciate what we were looking at. Which at 8 years old was quite challenging sometimes.
you were exposed to it. You got to see your parents interested in it.
And seeing, having a dad who was an artist was really helpful.
Sure.
Because he'd be standing there this far away from a painting going, look at the brush strokes. Look at how they did. And I'm like, okay, Dad. Cool.
And so I'll give it to you that neither of my parents are interested in art. Yeah. So that's going to be part of the reason why we didn't go.
Right.
But it was also always phrased and sandwiched with it's not giving glory to God, so why go?
And when you're standing in front of a 12-foot by 4-foot statue of a naked man lying on the ground dying, that's not necessarily something that a conservative Christian is going to take a child to go see. Unless you're my parents.
And you enjoy and can and I get that.
Then it was very much, this is art. This is what the art is depicting. How does it make you feel? And once I answered that question, it was, would you like to move on? Sit there, consider how this makes me feel. I think I was 12. I was like, I'm a little nervous right now because that is a very large naked man. I was 12. This is normal.
You were able to articulate that that's how you felt.
I answered the question and my mom was like, do you want to move on and on? I was like, honestly, no, I want to sit here with this for a minute. I want to sit here and with this mood that this giant sculpture is creating in this room, because I had spent 12 years with parents who were interested in fostering an appreciation of art separate from religion. Yeah. And that is so important. Mm-hmm. I cannot pressure that enough if you are a parent. The art and religion can mix, but that place where the Venn diagram crosses over cannot be the only place it exists in.
Yeah.
Like,
and I mean, I know that I was not going to get that type of art appreciation with the way that my parents just weren't as interested. They weren't painters themselves,
right?
Know? So it's like I get that. It's just one of those things. Like, art was really restricted in every way.
That your parents would never take you to the Tiffany Lamp Museum and then ask you which lamp was your favorite after walking you through. I think there was like 7 rooms. Wild.
But did you get your favorite?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Where is it?
It's in St. Augustine, I think. At least the one it's somewhere in Florida. We went somewhere in Florida. The Arboretum was my favorite because it was full of marble statues, and I have a thing for marble statues. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the literally just rooms of stained glass and lamp. And like at 12, 13, you're looking at your mom like, really? We're gonna spend the whole day in a museum full of lamps. Okay. But now that I'm 40, I'm like, I'd really like to go back.
Yeah, no, I'm like,
I'm going to drag my child to a museum full of lamps.
That would be good.
Yeah, you have to come. You can't stay home for this one. It might become a core memory. You never know.
You never know.
Oh. Gosh, that is wild. It's wild to think about stuff like that. Because it's hard for me to imagine. Like, I can't imagine not going to, like, what do you do on vacation if you're not going to a museum or an art gallery?
We play games, we go to the beach, we go out to eat, we watch movies, go shop, eat ice cream.
And? That's it?
We would do, when we went to Texas, we did a JFK exhibit, we did the river walk, we would go to amusement parks.
Stuff.
Yeah, we would go to amusement parks, we would do like the quote fun stuff, fun vacation stuff. Never brown signs.
Always brown signs.
No brown signs. Aquariums, zoos, we do that stuff.
If we took a new route to the beach we'd not taken before and there was a brown sign, we knew we were getting pulled off the highway. Because we had not been to that brown sign before.
I love that though.
That was definitely happening.
I love that.
That was a trip for my husband when we started dating. Was that I would do that. We would be like, okay, we're gonna go on vacation. We're gonna go and be like, ooh, brown sign. He's like, I didn't know this was here. I was like, I didn't either.
Now, I did go through a phase as a child that I was fascinated with everything Civil War. And we would go to a few Civil War sites.
Which is good.
And that was cool because my parents saw that I had an interest in learning about that.
And they fostered
so we went
it.
they did. Yeah. We went to one of the boats, ships, something. We had like planned, we were making a plan to like go up to all the Civil War sites.
Have you been to the
But
one?
we just never got around to it. But we were planning on doing it.
I think it's down in Wilmington where they talk about that Civil War submarine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Is that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And then there's one in Virginia, I think.
With the big boat.
The big boat.
Yeah, we definitely did that one.
And we went there. So that was cool. They did foster, they've always known I've had an interest in that, and they've passed information,
Which is good.
which is great.
But that's pretty much where it stops.
But that was also within the system.
That's true. Yeah. Definitely can't take.
If I was really fascinated in ice ages, I don't think that one would have been fostered as much. Or dinosaurs.
Definitely didn't take you to the Mineral Museum out there on the Blue Ridge Parkway then.
If we did, it wasn't. There was a lot of, you're gonna see some dates that are wrong, and you just don't pay attention to it. So then it became, well, then there's no reason to read the sign. We're just here to look at pretty rocks.
And I would read the sign, and I would have questions about the dates, and I would I don't know, you should look that up when we get home. Because they were banking on me forgetting about it.
As a parent, I totally understand. But I would be like, why is this date, 3 million years?
Right.
Well, people are
wrong.
It's just wrong. People that are, against God are trying to make a different timeline for the universe because they're just mistaken or they're led astray by the enemy. But we know the truth.
Yep.
And so I never knew what I could trust or not when it came to anything, but and you get science or biology or geology. I was like, it's all made up, right?
That's that intersection of art, history, science, politics. That's that intersection of, if it strays, it's wrong.
So I almost had anytime I'm going into an exhibit or museum,
you kind of mentally braced yourself to see a bunch of wrong stuff.
Yeah, I would go in thinking most of what I'm about to see is going to be wrong or misguided as a 14-year-old. And then when I wouldn't know anything, in the back of my head, there's something wrong with me, because I'm supposed to be this 14-year-old who knows more than the museum type thing
going on.
And I would, so I got really good at wiggling my way out of conversations.
Yeah.